All right, guys. You're now watching the exclusive 2016 Calhoun County Varsity Volleyball Tournament preview show. You're not going to see this around anywhere else because Team Star keeps it 100%. With that being said, how are you feeling about this tournament, the field, the seeds?
Looks like it's going to be a competitive tournament, obviously. I think it's going to get competitive, first day. You got, a Sachs-Weaver matchup in the first round that I think will be pretty good. And then in the second round, you could have a Donahoe-Alexandria matchup, Pleasant Valley-Sachs or Pleasant Valley-Weaver could be good. And then, right. Just a lot of good teams. Jacksonville-Oxford, look good. A lot of teams are playing their best right now. So this looks like this is going to be a fun tournament.
Like you mentioned, there's a lot of different things going on right now. Sacred Heart's not 100%, or they could be a sleeper. Fate's playing well. I don't seen them as a 6 seed. That's really awesome for them.
They played really well to start the year. They were a little frustrated. They lost 2 on Tuesday to Sachs and Etowah, and obviously Etowah is a much bigger school than they are.
Right.
But they've definitely got the experience and they've definitely got the talent. They're just gonna have to put it all together and put it together here in the tournament.
It's hard to argue. We've seen the most volleyball of people around here this year. So who's somebody to watch that people really need to know about going into the tournament?
It's hard to say that Jacksonville is a sleeper with
right.
all they've accomplished, but with Pleasant Valley not losing a game until just a couple of weeks ago, and then they lost their second game to Jacksonville this week.
Right.
Oxford being the defending, county champion, Donahoe with all they've done, and having Coach Slay. But I think Jacksonville's a team that's going to surprise some people. I think a lot of people maybe are guaranteeing a Pleasant Valley Oxford rematch in the finals. But
right.
I kind of think Jacksonville's going to be there in the finals and maybe even win the tournament.
Right. It's kind of like you mentioned, Coach Slay. I talked to her last night after the Falcons clinched the Class 1A Area 10 regular season title. She says her players really step up and play to the Donahoe legacy. It's very hard to argue that this isn't one of the things that they don't pride themselves on accomplishing each year. So Donahoe could I won't say take this entire thing, but they're going to be there on Saturday afternoon, maybe even Monday, playing for it. Pleasant Valley Donahoe in the semifinals off the bat is going to be one of the good matchups. On the other half, Jacksonville Oxford, and the other one, in my estimation. Who do you have playing on Monday?
I'm going to go Pleasant Valley. I just think they've got a mentality about them. I could very easily see Donahoe being there on their side too, but I think Pleasant Valley with the mentality they've got, they like to win. I think Pleasant Valley's there, and I'm going to say Jacksonville beats Oxford in another semifinal.
It is very hard to argue that point as well. Like you mentioned, Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
With them not being one of the top 2 seeds, people really don't think about them right now. But they could easily be playing on Monday. For me, I'm going to have to go to Golden Eagles playing on Monday, and I'll take a step out on the limb and say the Falcons.
Yeah.
A 3-5 matchup, just because you really don't want chalk in the tournament.
It's going to be fun to see who is there because I think it really, there's several teams that could be there. And you could see, somebody could be, like I said, a lot of people are expecting Pleasant Valley and Oxford to be there, and it might not be either one of those teams.
Who do you think is going to be the tournament MVP?
That's a tough one. If Pleasant Valley were to win, Cammie Cochran at Pleasant Valley, I think she's going to have a lot of kills in this tournament. I know I picked Jacksonville to win it, but if Pleasant Valley were to win, Cammie Cochran's really been playing well for Pleasant Valley.
Right, Jacksonville, Sierra Stone's there, Donahoe, Madison Gaines. I know Oxford's got 2 or 3 every time they're playing. They got somebody really up there.
Archie.
Yeah. Oh, man. I watched her last year. I was scared, even though I was 3 rows back.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I think that'll conclude this, the only place you'll see Calhoun County volleyball preview show. And until then, actually, if you don't like what we've said in this show, we'll be there all day Saturday and all day Monday. So just come drop us a line, tell us why we're wrong or why we're right. We like to talk to people, as you can tell. We're still going on almost 5 minutes now. See ya.